Hey, second graders, happy Monday. I hope you've had a fantastic weekend. I hope you got to celebrate your mothers, your aunts, your grandma, whoever you live with, and hope you had a fantastic Mother's Day. And I hope you enjoyed the absolutely beautiful weather that we got this last weekend. This week's going to be a little bit colder, but we need the rain in order for our climate to be so green and beautiful, so we'll take it. But thankfully it's mid-May, so pretty soon the weather's going to start getting more and more warm like that. So today is Monday, so I'm going to share with you again the same question, or the same Penelope Peabody clue I gave to you on Friday. I only got one person that's gotten it correct so far, so let me read to you that clue. And then remember, on Friday we started reading The One and Only Bob. Let me show you. The One and Only Bob. I read a few chapters to you, so I'll continue reading that to you today as well. All right, so the clue I gave to you on Friday. I just drove into the caves at Carlsbad Caverns. It was quite dark in there, and I spilled coffee on my map of the United States. Now I can't read the name of the state that I'm visiting right now. It borders 5 states: Arizona, Colorado, Utah, Texas, and Oklahoma. It also borders another country too. Do you know where I am? Please tell me which state I'm in. All right, we know that this state borders a lot of other states, and it also borders another country. That's crazy. All right, I only got one person who got it correct so far, and that is Marley. Good job, Marley. All right, so if you think you know which state Penelope is in, let me know. Tomorrow I will tell you the answer of which state she's in, and then give you a new clue that you will get a chance to answer until Friday. So we'll see how many people we can get to get that one correct. So on Friday I started The One and Only Bob. This was written by the same author of The One and Only Ivan, and this is the story of the little dog instead of Ivan. So we read earlier about how Bob and Ivan met. This was the picture that we left off on. All right, so here is the next chapter. It's called The Amazing History of Man's Best Friend. Before long, me and Ivan were best buddies. We were an unlikely pair for sure. Ivan's calm and serene, a philosopher, an artist. I wish I could be more like that. No one's ever accused me of being level-headed. Hot-headed, sure. So hot-headed means that you react really quick when anything happens. You just react. Level-headed means you just kind of focus and don't overreact to things. And I can't talk pretty like Ivan can. I'm a street dog, after all, and I'm proud of it. Still, we clicked in a way I have never had with humans. Man's best friend? No way. Gorilla's best friend? You bet. Seems to me the first time I ever heard that phrase, man's best friend, was while I was watching TV with Ivan. Back in the day, Ivan had this little television, and we watched a lot of stuff together. Old movies, westerns, cartoons, you name it. Poor guy was stuck in a cage. Didn't have a lot else to do except throw meatballs at gapping humans. Anyways, me and Ivan, big fans of the tube, cat food commercials, pro bowling, Dancing with the Stars, what's not to like? Once we watched this special on the Nature Channel. It was called The Amazing History of Man's Best Friend. Show was all about famous dogs. There were rescue dogs and therapy dogs and war dogs and fire dogs and movie dogs and this dog and that dog. And between you and me, most of them were just plain old overachievers. Then they got me to this dog named Hatch something or other. Hatchetoe, maybe? Seems his owner died, for the record. I object to the word owner, but we'll set that aside for now. And Hatch something or other sat around for over 9 years in the same spot, at the same train station, day after day, watching for his owner to return. Thing is, the narrator guy was blabbing on and on about this dog, really over-the-top stuff. How loyal, how loving. Break out the Kleenex, blah, 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 wah, 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 man's best friend. They made a statue for this dog. I kid you not. A statue of the dog who sat around 9 years waiting for a dead guy. This is the next one. It's called In My Opinion. The dog was a ninny, a numbskull, a nincompoop. Next one is called I'm Yours. Let me tell you about being man's best friend. Being man's best friend can mean a lot of things. Companionship, belly rubs, tennis balls. But it can also mean a dark, endless highway and an open truck window. It can mean the smell of the wet wind as hands grab the box you're in with your brothers and sisters, and you go sailing into the unkind night, and still, crazy as it sounds, you're thinking, but I'm yours, I'm yours, I'm yours. Next one is called No One. That's what being man's best friend can get you. A black highway, an empty box, and no one in the world but you. The next one is called Early Days. I don't remember much about my early pup days. It was 3 years ago, but sometimes it feels like 300. Mostly, I recall fighting with my sibs for the primo meal spot. Lots of squirming and squeaking, everything soft and milk-smelling and movable, like we were in a great big complicated animal. I never met my dad, and my mom didn't say much about him except that he was trouble. Mom had a beautiful fawn coat, Chihuahua, some this, some that, nice bloodline. Mutts rule. Mom croons to us, told us stories, laid down the law. I wonder if she knew she didn't have much time to prepare us for the world. We were born in a dark place, probably under some porch stairs. I suspect, since I remember the sound of boots plodding up and down, the biting, the ugly smell of human feet. They called my mom Rio, and they fed her most days, though sometimes she had to fend for herself. She never showed fear towards them, or respect. Indifference, I'd guess that you'd say. Unless they tried to handle one of us, she growled then, hoping to make it clear that we were hers and hers alone. I myself got picked up a couple times. The hands reached in and grabbed. Then they were rough and smelled of strange scents, bitter and meaty. My mom's growl made me fearless, and I wriggled and yepped. The hands shoved me back to the warm place where I slept and drank and dreamed in safety. Still, I understood, in my simple puppy way, that dogs belong to humans, and that was how it would always be. All right, I'm going to stop right there. The next one is called Boss, and I will read this tomorrow. Again, this is the story, The One and Only Bob, and it is telling us kind of the life story starting off on how Bob became Bob. So, I hope you have a great Monday night. I will see you tomorrow for our next chapters in The One and Only Bob. All right, see you guys.